The following thoughts and opinions regarding this album are strictly of my own personal interests. I am not a professional music reviewer. I do encourage respectful discussion and friendly banter of each episode, but I do not condone and will not tolerate bullying or belligerence of any kind.
Well, hey there, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Rate the Record podcast, episode 121. Thank you for joining me today. I am your host, Chris. As always, here in the studio, here in this lovely space of mine, doing album reviews, having you join me and be part of the review because it's music commentary. It's a two-way street here. Love that kind of stuff. But yes, this is where we are for episode 121, Rate the Record. And just before we go any further, I would like to remind you that if you like what you see and or hear today, there's one thing, a bunch of things, or all the things I'm about to list that you can do to help support the show. It's quick, free, and easy to do. Like, subscribe, rate, share, comment, and follow. 6 things. There you go. A bunch to choose from. All of them, or even just one of them. All of those things truly do help this whole channel, the Rate the Record brand all together. The support means the world, obviously, as it does to any creator. I'm one of them too. So if you want to show your support, thank you very much for doing so. I truly do appreciate it. And you can find all the places to do those things over at ratetherecord.ca. That is ratetherecord.ca. All of the streaming links, social media links, and of course the RTR Club is also over there as well. The optional way to support the show, that's financial. Again, it's optional, but the option is indeed yours. $3 a month will get you early access to episodes, shoutouts on social media, and over on the platform as well here in the episodes. You'll be able to request albums for me to do for the show. Quick and easy discourse for me to say with me. I think I already said that. If I didn't, there you go. And if your band has a song that you want me to check out and review and everything like that, I can do that too. So again, all of those things can be found over at ratetherecord.ca. And of course, if you've been here before, you know that I got to get all this jargon out of the way, but I welcome you back to the show. Glad that you've decided to join me once again for today's episode as well, because this is the second week in a row I've done an 80s album, so that's pretty interesting. Usually it's like 90s and above, but once in a while, I like to go back a little further. But if you're new to the podcast, welcome to the show. I hope you enjoy your stay. You've come on a wonderful episode, one from an album from the 80s that doesn't get done often, but regardless, it's being done now. So thank you very much for joining me. And if you don't know what I do here on the show, aside from the title of the podcast itself being very obvious, each week I will choose an album. It could be something I want to listen to. Maybe it's a request. Maybe it's celebrating an anniversary or a milestone of some sort. Regardless, I will take an album, listen to it front to back right here on the show. You'll hear it in a few second chunks over the episode because I don't want to get my ass kicked by copyright. But I digress. I'll listen to the entire thing. I will give you my thoughts on the songs on the entire album, and then finally the bread and butter of this whole thing. I'll rank the songs and then rate the record, like it says on this shirt. By the way, you can also get merch too, RTR merch. I don't push it as heavily, but the idea is it is still there. Rate the Record podcast. There's a couple designs. I'll get more in there eventually. I don't know. We'll see. I digress, though. It's episode 121. We got to talk about music. And today's choice is Ozzy Osbourne and his 1981 album, Diary of a Madman. And coming back from a quick cut right there, because once again, I forgot that I have this vinyl right here, Diary of a Madman by Ozzy Osbourne. And in case you're wondering, this one is a particular print that didn't have the original bassist and drummer on it, even though they're given songwriting royalties and everything like that. Performance royalties, not so much. There was a big problem with that and everything like that. So yeah, that's unfortunate. And I go into more detail about that maybe a little bit into the intro of the album. And I also made a separate video on the song Diary of a Madman, an ILTS video in the top corner on YouTube. It popped up, so you can check that out. And if you're anywhere else, go to YouTube and look for I Love the Song Diary of a Madman. That's me. And I go into a lot more detail about that whole controversy. But anyways, speaking of the album itself, let's learn a little more about it. Diary of a Madman is the second full-length album from legendary heavy metal icon Ozzy Osbourne, formerly the frontman of Black Sabbath. It was released November 7th, 1981 and released through Jet Records. Jet primarily released for more pop and R&B oriented acts, but eventually took on other rock and metal acts such as Riot, Roy Wood, Electric Light Orchestra, and more. The album was recorded at Ridge Farm Studio in Rusper, England, and was produced by Osbourne, Max Norman, who has also worked with bands such as Ian Hunter, Megadeth, and Bad Company, and fellow album musicians Randy Rhoads, who was on guitars, and Bob Daisley, who played bass. The other musician to play on the album was Lee Kerslake on drums. though a controversial 2002 reissue of the album saw Daisley and Kerslake's parts removed and re-recorded by current Metallica bassist Robert Trujillo and Faith No More drummer Mike Bordin. It's said that Sharon Osbourne originally said Ozzy wanted them off of the album due to their abusive and unjust behavior, whereas Ozzy said Sharon wanted them off due to various production disputes. Daisley and Kerslake sued the Osbournes in 2002, where they were awarded songwriting royalties but dismissed for performance royalties. The album was quite popular amongst reviewers upon its release, with some of its scores consisting of 10 out of 10 by famed music journalist Martin Popoff, 4.5 out of 5 stars by AllMusic, and 3.5 out of 5 stars by Music Hound Rock. Rolling Stone magazine also placed the album at number 17 on their 100 Greatest Metal Albums of All Time list as of 2017. Upon its release, the album hit 3 different charts: number 17 in Canada, number 16 in the US, and number 14 in the UK. The album has been certified 4 times platinum, 3 times in the US and once in Canada. The album spawned 3 singles: Flying High Again, Over the Mountain, and Tonight. And there you go, a little bit more about the album. And if you want to know more about the songwriting itself and like the controversies going in behind it, again, you can check out the ILTS video. Already kind of tagged it a little earlier. It'll be at the end of the video too, so by all means, I strongly recommend checking it out. I did a very deep dive on that song and how much I like it. Spoiler alert, I like it a lot, and you'll know that as we get to it. But first, we got to start with song number 1, Over the Mountain. All right, song number 1, Over the Mountain. That's a good start to the album. It works decently enough as an album opener. Like, I love the quicker pacing of it, and it really kind of does the album some favors with that choice too. It's good. I know that some albums kind of start on a quieter note and then build up to the second song, and I've made that note many times before in the past where it's like, sometimes the first song isn't the real first song. This one is. This works. I like this one. And it's really interesting that the chorus in this song kind of feels like a pre-chorus, because that entire small section just feels like building where like the drums are just running like crazy and everything like that. Just, it feels like a bridge almost, but I don't know. I guess as close as that we get to a chorus in this entire song. I don't know. But it sounds like a lot of fun. I really like that. And also just a blanket statement for the entire album too, as I don't want to mention every single song, but obviously we're kind of graced with the fantastic work of it, like just the work and writing of Randy Rhoads in his short-lived career. So it's just excellent work all around. Needless to say, I mean, Randy Rhoads was an immense talent of the 80s. Very short-lived, unfortunately, but like his work, especially across this album, is seen. And again, when we get to the actual song, title track of Diary of Madman, he worked wonders on that one too. Again, I have a video talking about that. I'll stop mentioning that now. We'll move on to song number 2, Flying High Again. We got a long fade out, so I'm just going to go ahead and pause it now. I mean, it's just a very, very long fade out. Older songs from like the 80s, 70s, and 60s sometimes have these incredibly long fade outs that last like a minute or 2 minutes. It's just like, no, you can go a little faster now, it's fine. But yeah, song number 2, Flying High Again. One thing I think I've always really liked about this song is the playfulness that happens between the bass and guitar riffs in the verses. I mean, it's pretty simple. It's nothing too complex to like really dive into, but when you have those two matched with the drums, I think it makes for a really fun groove all around. So that's cool stuff. I like it, and I started noticing it more as I was getting older too. So I like that I'm still pulling things out of music that you wouldn't necessarily keep pulling things out of. I mean, there's not incredibly in-depth layers in this music, but at the same time it's just like, oh, I guess I never noticed that before. But so here we are now in my mid-30s finally recognizing it. This one's a little more subdued as compared to the last track, but I think the composition works well all around, so I think that's great. And actually in some regards I like what this one does better than the previous song did, which, I mean, there's nothing wrong with the previous track either, but I don't know, I think I'm pulling more from this one that I actually ended up enjoying a little more. So it's fun. I'm liking that things are still building in this album. I mean, it's relatively short. It's only 8 songs, but so far, so good. And apparently the song's about Ozzy's overindulgence in drugs, which can you believe that Ozzy Osbourne did drugs? A lot of them. But I mean, there's also conflicting like stories and everything like that, that this, or from unverified sources at the very least, that this is about Ozzy's successful re-emergence into the music scene after being fired from Black Sabbath. So, I mean, I guess either way you look at the song, the narrative actually kind of does fit, no matter how you want to view one point or the other. So, yeah. If you want to believe it's about drugs and his trips with LSD, I don't think anyone's going to blame you. Anyways, we'll move on to song number 3, You Can't Kill Rock and Roll. We have another incredibly long fade out, and I know Randy Rhoads is just going nuts, but I'm just going to go ahead and pause it anyways, just for the sake of time. Song number 3, You Can't Kill Rock and Roll. And speaking of Randy Rhoads too, this song has some really pretty clean guitar work in it. I really like it. It sounds very nice. And it's just adding to more of that versatility that Rhoads had brought to this album, so it's nice to hear that come through. Just in the production on those guitar strings though, fantastic stuff, like super clean, polished. I love the like the reverb and echo on it and everything like that. Just really nice stuff. And though this song sounds like it's probably about the relationship between Ozzy and his fans, or probably more likely his critics, like how goddamn 80s can you get with that goddamn song title, You Can't Kill Rock and Roll? I mean, like, I don't know. These are like things you don't really hear anymore, especially with lyrics like rock and roll is my religion and my law. It's like, these are the kinds of things I would hear a like dude in his late 50s, early 60s in a denim jacket at a bar say, like, well, he's like 6 beers pissed, you know, like this is the kind of thing I expect to hear from that. But I get it. This is a product of its time. It's 1981. This song was written probably early 1981. It was just the thing to say and do back then, I guess. I don't know, but just, I don't know how well that always holds up, but I don't know. It's still fun. It's fine. This probably honestly did need to be 7 minutes long, though. I mean, this one, especially with those long fade outs, probably didn't need to be like that. But I mean, I guess this is that quote unquote the stand that he was taking, that he mentioned in the lyrics. He said he was taking a stand, and I guess writing a 7-minute song about you can't kill rock and roll is his stand. I don't know. Regardless, not the greatest on the album, still a fine track, just didn't need to be as long. With that said, we get to the halfway point with song number 4, Believer. Again, don't fault me for pausing right here. It's just been a very, very, very long, drawn out fade out there. Song number 4, Believer. Just, you swear they're killing time with all these fade outs, I swear. But this one has a super simple beat to it for the most part. And as simple as that lead bass line is, I think it's super fun and it's pretty damn catchy overall. So it's really great to have that start the song, kind of like go through. Obviously it changes up as the song goes, but that's a great opening line to the song. I think it's fun. It catches you immediately. And I think a lot of the standout moments in this song for me specifically, though, happen towards the middle. Because you get this more dramatic sounding section in the middle that has like a lot of super atmospheric reverb put onto it. And then that leads into the heavier solo sections. And it just works really well together. And it's probably one of the better transitions of it on the album up to this point. So just, I don't know, the middle of the song and then leading into the heavier portions are some of the biggest standout portions to me. Long story short, I guess. But yeah, again, a little drawn out with this one. It could have ended like 30 seconds short at the very least. Shorten the fade out. You don't really need to stretch it out. I get that you need time for a record because you only have so much time per side. I don't know, write a couple of shorter tracks then. That's all you could do. Whatever, it's fine. It's fine. But it is what it is, right? You only get so many of those in life. Anyways, flip over to side B. We're going to song number 5, Little Dolls. For the love of God, stop with these massive fade outs already. I swear. It's becoming a problem at this point. I'm not really trying to deduct scores or anything like that from songs that have long fade outs, but it's like, just end already, please. Song number 5, Little Dolls. We're on the B-side and it's still happening. Speaking of the end of the song, let's go to the beginning of the song because, I mean, there are cool drums right in that intro. I love it. I love how full those toms kind of make the entire soundscape feel, so that's really nice. Cool thing to throw in there. The verses are structured like Believer, I've kind of noticed, but the chorus is really cool at the very least. It kind of feels like Over the Mountain in a way as well, too, just with like the drums that are just kind of running and the bass is kind of walking everywhere with it, too. I don't know. It draws in more interest, makes it a lot of fun. I think it's pretty damn cool. But my God, again, this song did not have to be, how long is it? 5 minutes and 39 seconds. It didn't have to be that. You could have ended it a while ago, minus that fade out. It's like, again, it's not even a bad track. It's stretched out for the sake of time to. It's stretched out for the sake of making time for the record. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, my thoughts are just in a million places at once right now. And again, that has gone for the majority of songs I've talked about so far, and it's probably going to happen again too. Just this album could have been like 9 or 10 songs, and just have a couple of shorter ones. It's fine. It could have been done, but no, we get these massive long fade outs. Like, just stop. You're just drawing it out forever and ever and ever. Please stop. It's a good song, but please stop. Anyways, gonna move on. Song number 6, Tonight. I see they didn't take my note about stopping with those fade outs. Oh my God. It's fine. Whatever. We're moving on. Song number 6, Tonight. I believe this is like the closest to like a ballad or power ballad. That's what I meant to say. It's the closest to a ballad or power ballad as we have gotten on this album for the most part. It's a far more subdued track about self-reflection, so I guess that's why I would feel a little more gentle in most respects. And I get it. It's nice. It sounds nice in that way. And the addition of the piano too, like especially those stabbing chords in the chorus, it's a really nice texture to throw in. And also just the piano does like a lot of nice work in the second half of the song too. So that is nice. It works. I enjoy it. But at the same time, on like, devil on my shoulder type deal, this one as compared to the others should definitely be a hell of a lot shorter. I mean, like a lot of the luster of this song is lost maybe around the halfway point, 2/3 in, just again with the long fade outs, but just, I don't know, the song's not really giving me too much more by the end. So it's just, did this one really need to be almost 6 minutes long? Did it really need to be? No, the answer is no. No song on this album has needed to be anywhere near this long. I don't know. It sounds nice, but it's just unnecessarily long. And it's kind of frustrating at this point because you're just noticing all these drawouts and all the time it's killing just to do this. And again, you could have had like 1 or 2 other great, fantastic songs on this album. Who knows? But no, just long, drawn out outros. We're almost at the end. Don't worry. Song number 7, S.a.t.o, which I'll get into that, what that could possibly mean after we listen to the song. For the most part, a proper ending. Wow. That is a rarity on this album. Just the constant, I don't know, echo out there probably didn't need to happen. But you know what? As compared to the other songs, I'll take it. I'll absolutely take it. Song number 7, S.a.t.o. I'm in shock now. I'm like so giddy about it. The pacing definitely picks back up in this one, as you can tell. It's the same energy that we kind of got from Over the Mountain. So it's nice to have this back as we near the end of the album. So it makes it so much more exciting again as we're reaching the end. So it's nice to sandwich it a little bit, but we still have one more song. But yeah, the title though, a lot of people have been wondering what the hell the title could possibly mean. Like it stands for something, S.a.t.o. Well, apparently there's a debate amongst fans of what it could mean, and there's like several different, and the ones that kept popping up were sailing across the ocean, which I guess makes sense because of like the narrative of sailing in boats in this one. Sailing away to oblivion, which could also make sense. Or there's also Sharon Arden Thelma Osbourne, which references his 3 wives that he's had, and I guess Sharon being the most recent, obviously the one he currently has now. Maybe, I guess, you can equate this song to rocky relationships and like moving from one to the next, finding that gold, but always kind of crashing in a storm because that's how the other 2 relationships were, I guess. I don't know. I guess however you look at the narrative, it could fit, but I don't know about that last one, but that's the one I heard a lot growing up, so maybe that is it. I don't know. If it has been cleared, I haven't personally seen it myself, so maybe I missed it. I don't know. Regardless, a well-paced song. I like this one. It's got a really good proper length to it. It hits all the beats. It doesn't fade out unnecessarily. I like it. Things are good. Things are good. So now we're going to get into the final song in the album. One that I've already showered praise upon already in that ILTS video. Sorry, it's the last time I'll mention it. But yeah, I'm very excited to listen to this one again. I never get sick of it. Song number 8, the title track, Diary of a Madman. Yes. Yes. God, what a good song. Song number 8, Diary of a Madman. Last time, I promise. Talk about that ILTS video. I'll even put it down in the description. I don't care. Regardless, go watch it, because if you want to see me go really deep on this one about like the writing, the composition, where certain parts are derived from, and just talking about why the song is so goddamn good in the first place, please just check out that video, because there's a lot I have to say about it. But I'll give you some quick points at the very least. I'll give you some very quick to the point type leaflet shit here. It's super well crafted from front to back. Like, obviously, like, it's just constantly taking you many places emotionally. So like this one felt like it took time to construct. Like, this is just a well done thing. It's a longer song that uses every single part of its runtime to just constantly be interesting, exciting, dramatic, captivating. Like, this song is it. Like, we had to wait to the end of the album to get the title track, and it was the best song, period. So better than the singles for sure by a goddamn long shot. Oh my God. But yeah, Diary of a Madman, fantastic song. Please check out the video for more if you want to hear me gush about it. If you want to hear me gush about it like a school kid with a crush, please check out that video. That's all I'll say. I promise. Now, that is the actual very final last time I'll mention that video. And with that, we are actually done not only talking about the song, but we are done talking about the album Diary of a Madman. Thank you very much for joining me and listening to this album with me. I hope you did. I want to hear your opinions on it, but hold on. There's still a little more that we got to do. We can say ta-ta to Spotify off the screen there, and we could say aloha to the numbers. 8 of them, because there's not many songs on this album. 8 songs, 8 through 1. Yes, it's time to rank the songs, as per usual, the penultimate moment of the podcast. Least favorite to favorite, not so great to great, worst to best, least preferred to most preferred. However you want to cut the cake, here's my plate. Give me a slice of cake. You got to slice it up into 8 pieces. So I've done that. Have you done that? Well, let's just see mine and then I can hear yours. How about that? How's that work? Let's get started. No more further hesitation. So number 8 tonight. 7, You Can't Kill Rock and Roll. 6, Little Dolls. 5, Over the Mountain. 4, Flying High Again. 3, Believer. 2, the suspense, s.a.t.o, because what other song could possibly be number 1 except the one I got super excited for? Diary of a Madman. Of course I did. I wrote something of a short video essay on this goddamn song, so of course it's going to be number 1. It has to be. It's the only number 10 on the album too that I actually rated it. Okay then, well, those are the scores. I'm going to want to hear yours too, but I also want to hear your rating of the record, because that's kind of what we have to do now. You go in and you leave and then you come in. Nice switch out there. Because now it's time to rate the record, just like my t-shirt says, minus the word podcast, I guess. Regardless, yeah, it's time to rate the record. Well, I got a copy of it behind me, and I love the holy hell out of the actual title track, but what about the album itself as a whole? Well, after doing the math with the scores, I actually kind of surprised myself because I thought it was going to be a little lower into the B tiers, but turns out it's 80% dead on the nose even. That is an A- record that we have on our hands. Tonight almost tanked it. I don't want to say tanked it, but it didn't do very well in the scores. But Diary of a Madman, the song itself, I think really helped kind of skyrocketed this thing just to the tip of the A tier there. It just saved it. Because even if it was 9.5, it would have fell to B+. But here we are, A-, 80% even for Diary of a Madman. And poof, it's gone. Look at that. Isn't that weird? The score on the screen is gone now. Score on the screen is gone now. I can't speak properly, which is a good thing because we're at the end of the episode, so I don't have to do much more. Thank you very much for joining me, hanging out with me, listening to this album. And if you did indeed listen to this album with me, please let me know how you thought about this. Do me a favor and do that. Let me know your song rankings, your album rating. Do you agree or disagree with me? Do you like or hate this album? Like, all these things I want to know more. Your opinions on this album, please let me know down in the comments below of wherever you're listening, because there's comment sections everywhere. But you can also find places to let me know over on ratetherecord.ca. Again, ratetherecord.ca. Streaming, social media, RTR Club, merch, all that kind of stuff over there at ratetherecord.ca. So let's not forget to do that. And also, let's not forget to hit like and subscribe and all that fun stuff too, because the algorithm likes when I say that more than once. Like, subscribe, follow, rate, share, comment. I did that out of order, but at least I remembered. So please do that too. We're at the end of the episode, so now's the perfect time to do it if you haven't done it yet. Okay, that's it. I'm done. And next week, I will say, for episode 122 is technically the Halloween episode. I'm going to say Halloween because it's not going to be directly on Halloween. But I thought to myself, what scary band could I do? Or what could I just do for Halloween in general? If you watched the podcast in the past on Halloween, I'll at least decorate my room. But I wanted a band to fit that. I wanted a band that would come in and fit the Halloween theme. And I think I found it. And I think you're going to enjoy it. It's a bit of a throwback, but I think you're going to enjoy it. With that in mind, I will let you go now. So until then, go listen to even more awesome music, and I'll see you again real soon. Take care, friends.